10 years of holding the keys to the kingdom usually results in a coronation or a quiet exit. But for Dak Prescott, the decade mark feels more like a prison sentence. Listening to him talk at the Pro Bowl games brought a level of honesty that this organization usually hides behind flashy marketing and expensive stadium tours. He mentioned a monkey on his back becoming a gorilla. I see that gorilla every Sunday during my film sessions. I see it during the money downs. I see it during the high-pressure moments that require that elusive clutch factor. I am Carlos Eduardo, the lead analyst for America's team, and today I'm dissecting the decay of a dynasty that never quite started. My mission today is simple: providing the blunt reality of the star on the helmet, while the rest of the media gives you the company line. The 2025 season ended with a dismal 7-9-1 record, leaving us on the outside looking in for the second straight year. This isn't just a slump, it's a systemic failure. My analysis of the film shows a quarterback who is talented, yes, but strategically stranded by an organization that values the brand over the ring. During my time covering this franchise, I've seen the triple threat of the 90s Aikman, Smith, and Urban command the field with a level of authority that this current roster simply lacks. They understood gap discipline. They understood that playing under the bright lights of Jerry World requires a specific type of mental toughness. Right now, I see a group of players who are more concerned with their social media presence than their postseason legacy. Dak is turning 33 this year. He's essentially immune to being benched or traded due to a contract that Jerry Jones negotiated out of desperation. My perspective on this is clear. We are paying championship prices for divisional round talent. Upon hearing Dak admit that the opportunities are slipping away, I felt a sense of grim vindication. I've been saying this since 2021. The window didn't just close. It was slammed shut by the front office's inability to manage the salary cap. We are currently staring at a $35 million deficit heading into the 2026 offseason. That's not just a number on a spreadsheet. That's the reason we couldn't keep Micah Parsons. Trading the Lion to Green Bay remains the single most offensive move I've witnessed in 20 years. You don't trade the heartbeat of your defense and expect the star to keep it shine. Looking at the defensive film from last season, the absence of Micah was a gaping wound. We brought in Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams to solidify the interior, but without a consistent edge rush, our secondary was left out to dry. During the Week 18 loss to the Giants, I watched our gap discipline vanish like a ghost. The Giants, a team we used to dominate, treated AT&T Stadium like their own backyard. It was a failure of coaching, a failure of execution, and a failure of leadership. I blame Brian Schottenheimer's play calling just as much as I blame the players. The offense has become predictable. The choice routes that worked in 2022 are now basic reading for every defensive coordinator in the NFC East. The legacy of this franchise is built on the shoulders of giants like Tom Landry and Roger Staubach. Staubach was Captain Comeback because he had an innate sense of the moment. Dak, despite all his statistical greatness, seems to shrink as the stakes grow. My analysis of the last 3 playoff exits reveals a pattern of hesitation. At the snap of the ball, I see a quarterback thinking too much and reacting too little. In year 10, that shouldn't be happening. You should be the one dictating the tempo, not the one being dictated to by a surging Eagles defense. Philadelphia is reloading while we are recycling. They are aggressive in free agency, while Jerry Jones plays it stingy at the negotiating table. Cowboys fans deserve better than valuable experience and purposeful struggles. We deserve a 6th trophy. But getting there requires more than just talk about monkeys and gorillas. It requires a total overhaul of the all-in philosophy that Jerry Jones touts but never actually follows. My strategic closing for today is a warning. The star on the helmet is losing its luster. Without a massive influx of talent in the 2026 draft, specifically a franchise-altering offensive tackle and a pass rusher who actually scares someone, we are looking at another decade of mediocrity. The atmosphere at AT&T Stadium has changed. It used to be a fortress. Now, it feels like a theater where the audience knows the ending is going to be a tragedy. I remember the 90s dynasty. I remember the feeling of inevitability. I don't feel that anymore. I feel a sense of desperation. Dak's admission is a cry for help, but I'm not sure anyone in the front office is listening. They are too busy counting the revenue from the latest jersey sales. If I'm being honest, the pursuit of the next Super Bowl ring feels further away today than it did in 2016. We need to stop talking about the past and start fixing the present. I'm going to keep calling out the lack of gap discipline. I'm going to keep highlighting the failures on the money downs, and I'm going to keep holding this organization to the standard of the legends who came before. Because being America's team isn't a gift, It's a responsibility. It's time to stop making excuses and start making plays. The gorilla on Dak's back is only going to get heavier until he finally stands up and shakes it off in the Super Bowl. Until then, it's just more noise in a stadium built for sound and fury, signifying nothing. The road to the 2026 season begins now. Restructuring these contracts is the first step, but the mental shift is more important. We need players who fear losing more than they love the fame. I'll be here to filter every move Jerry makes through the lens of reality. No hype, no fluff, just the star, the film, and the blunt truth. Let's see if this franchise finally has the guts to do what's necessary. The clock is ticking on Dak's career, and the window is almost out of sight. It's now or never for the Dallas Cowboys.